jumping right into Volume 1, Episode 1 of this series, we are going to be talking to Tui, or talking about Tui, rather. The reason for this series is I want to take some time to really deep dive into each one of my snakes that I own so we can take a closer look at where they're from and, more importantly, personality traits. I think snakes get a bad rep as far as not having individual personalities, and I have not found that to be true. So I'm hoping to dispel a little bit of that misinformation, that myth, with this series. I hope you enjoy. This is Tui. He is my male Boa Constrictor Imperator, or Boa Imperator. He is a VPI T-positive snow morph. He is just over a year old. I have had him for about 2 months now. He will probably max out around 7 feet tops. Usually the males get between 5 and 7 feet for this particular species. Obviously there are exceptions to that rule. Always do your research if you are considering adding a Boa Constrictor Imperator to your snake family or animal family. Tui is from, his species is from South and Central America, as well as Colombia and Mexico. So they can be found in various different places. He is captive bred. Any BCI that you get, in my opinion, should be captive bred. There is a wide variety and large number of captive bred animals. There's really no to get wild caught at this point for this particular species. The wild caught population, their environment is suffering quite a bit, just like every other environmental population out there right now. And getting wild caught isn't really helpful for that population. So captive bred is the way to go. One last thing about captive bred animals. Just because you buy captive bred, that does not necessarily mean you're going to get an animal that is as handleable as Tui is, or not sassy. So you still can get a spicy noodle. If they are captive bred, are they less likely to be? Are they going to be more tolerant, or have a likelihood of being more tolerant of being handled and more used to humans than something that's wild caught? More than likely, yes. But it's no guarantee. You still might need to do some work, put some work in to get them tamed down. Some animals just maintain a certain level of sass, and that's okay. I think that adds to personality, but that's just something to keep in mind as you look to add to your animal family and researching specific species. Every animal has their own personality. I keep Tui in a about 2.5 by 1 by 1 PPC temporary enclosure right now. His permanent enclosure is on the way. It will get here probably about the beginning of August, and it's going to be a 6 by 2 by 2. I might wind up upgrading that someday. Oh, my camera hates me. There we go. I might wind up upgrading that someday to a 6 by 2 by 4 or an 8 by 2 by 2, depending on how he likes to utilize his space. He's very curious when I get him out of his enclosure. He likes to crawl around, he likes to crawl up and down things. When he is in his enclosure, he usually curls up in either his hot side or his cool side. More humid side, less humid side. I keep the hot side at 91, the cooler side between 72 and 75. And the humidity ranges between 60 and 70%, and he seems to do really well with those parameters. He always has an appetite, he poops just fine, urates just fine. So those are the parameters that I keep him at. I do think that when he has more space, he will use that space more. That's what I've found with all of my snakes that I have kept in a smaller quarantine enclosure and then moved to a bigger, more permanent enclosure. Just my own observation. You see his face? I know. So cute. So one of the reasons I got this specific animal, I know I wanted to snomorph, but the reason I went with him specifically is his breeder is known for handling their animals right from the get-go as soon as they're born. So he came in to me with a lot of handling experience. He was used to humans, he was used to being handled, and it really shows. Tui loves to climb on top of my head and just hang out there. He also loves to hang out around my neck like a scarf. He's fallen asleep like that a couple of times, which I find just completely adorable. And he's so chill after I've had him out for a while. Boa constrictors, one of the most wonderful things about handling them, in my opinion, is they give you, the way that they interact with their world is besides like tongue flicks and temperature checks and all of that stuff, obviously, but the way they move about is they lightly constrict to hang on. So they actually hang on to you, which is nice. Are you trying to get on top of my head? You can. So he really is just a joy to handle. Sometimes he gets so chilled out that he'll forget he's supposed to hang on, and then he'll just clumsily let go and slip down my arm or something. It's hilarious. He's a clumsy boy sometimes. But I just think it's really sweet that he'll get so comfortable during a handling session that he's willing to kind of relax to that point. I'm gonna see if he crawls at my head because it's coming. One last fun fact about Tui. His name comes from the show Avatar: The Last Airbender. There is a moon spirit in that show whose name is Tui, spelled T-U-I. It's pronounced Tui, like you're a toddler trying to pronounce tree. But he is a delightful animal. I love him. He is both beautiful and just a joy to interact with. And I hope you enjoyed getting to know Tui a little bit better. Gosh, you're being so cute. You're distracting me. It's very cute. I'm still waiting for the day that he poops on my head. It's coming. I know it's coming. It's gonna be my own fault. See, here's a problem. Not really. But he's not caught in my hair, he's literally just hanging on to it. That's why I always have my hair up when I handle him. Because boas interact with their environment and get around by hanging on to things. He'll let go eventually. Are you gonna let go? Ah, see? Ha ha ha. Good job.